Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you the steps which you need to take for unlocking the secrets of successful e-commerce marketing. It's actually super simple. The only thing is you need to do them. So if you walk through these steps I'm going to show you in this video, you are going to have success with your e-commerce online store whatsoever. We are working since years as an online marketing agency with brands which do succeed. You can take a look at our website and find these referrals. They are major brands in the German market and they are doing great, and we help them in certain parts of their marketing. And today I'm going to show you what they are doing and why they succeed and what you need to do to succeed as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at these steps. It's actually very simple. I prepared this wonderful map, and if you take these steps one after the other, you are going to have success as well. The only thing is you need to do these. I can't push hard enough on doing them and not skipping anything because it's necessary. If you build a house and you don't build the ground floor, you will never come to your first level. So build the ground floor first and then you can build on top of that. You will find this map on the link in this video description, so take a look there and you can just use it. We'll have a video on every topic in the upcoming weeks, so make sure to watch them. Number one, build your target audience. The biggest problem why people don't succeed with e-commerce is they are targeting the wrong people or they don't know whom to target at all. So build your target audience and think about who do you want to sell to. So create your buyer persona. It's actually very simple. It's a super straightforward process. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then think about why do you want to sell to them. If you don't know why you want to sell to them, it's most likely being very difficult for you, because if you don't engage with your clients or with the people you want to sell to, you don't really understand them and so on and so forth. If you don't like these people, it's going to be tricky. After you know whom do you want to sell to, you are going to create your winning product. You're not the first person in these markets. I'm sure in your niche it's the same thing. There will be players already, so make sure to analyze what they are doing and then find the weak spots. Find what they are doing wrong and find what your target audience want to improve, and then improve exactly that. Do whatever they are doing plus the improvement. That's very important. So what does your target audience want? What is on the market already? Can you make it better? If so, build your winning MVP. What's an MVP? It's the minimum viable product. So build the smallest possible product out of your findings and try to sell them. Sell them at least once to somebody who actually needs it and is not buying it because doing you favor. So sell it at least once, and as soon as you established the proof of concept, the proof of need for this new product, then you can move ahead. If you don't have your winning product, don't move further. You need to find first what your target audience actually wants. Then develop a marketing strategy. It's very important not to skip this step. A lot of people want to skip that and move straight forward to content production and building their website and so on and so forth. But if you don't have a marketing strategy, you don't have a plan how to build your e-commerce system. So make your plan first, and afterwards you can build up to this plan. It's very simple. Make sure to think about the W question. So what are you going to sell? To whom are you going to sell? Where do you want to sell your stuff? When do you want to sell it? That's very important. And how are you going to do it actually? Write this down. A marketing strategy doesn't need to be a big flow chart with I don't know what. It can be very simple and very straightforward. To-do list, for example, or steps list, where you just answer these W questions, and in the end, you're going to assume how you're going to do this. And then you can follow that. You can have a team building all this stuff. As I said in the beginning, we are going to have a video on each of these steps. So don't worry, just stick to the channel and you are going to have your step-by-step guide in how to do that. So make sure to watch out for that. Then build your content strategy. As soon as you know what you are going to sell, to whom, how, when, and where, you are ready to create the actual strategy, which content is the right fit for your target audience, for your product, where, and so on and so forth. So what kind of content do you need? That's going to be inside the content strategy. What phase of your prospect? So where are they at the moment right now? That means a person who is not aware that he or she wants to have your stuff, you need to make them aware first. So there are these 5 steps in marketing and you need to plan for each phase accordingly. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then where do you post it? You shall not post it everywhere because it's a waste of energy, of time, of everything. You don't need to post on Facebook if nobody reads your Facebook stuff. And then think about when you are posting it. So there are some time slots which are better than others. You want to be in the brains of your target audience at certain times because then the likelihood is very high that they follow up with your brand, blah, blah, blah. So you are going to build this inside your content strategy. From there, after you build your content strategy, before you start posting anything or creating actual content, you build your website and your online store, which you might need. Of course, there are certain products where you don't need a website, where you don't need an online store, and so on and so forth. You can sell directly from wherever you are, maybe from YouTube, but it's very unlikely. Usually you need landing pages, you need a store or a shopping system on collecting leads and sell to people. So usually you need that. That's step number 5. So find the right store for your needs. Then design it accordingly to not your taste. Design it to the taste of your target audience. It's very simple if you know whom you are targeting to design accordingly and to please these eyes. So do that. Afterwards, think about functionality. You don't need all the fancy functions from all the online stores. You only need certain functionality for your specific products, for your specific needs. So make sure to understand functionality you actually need and don't build a store for 10,000 products if you only sell like 5 or so. And then think about connections. Where do you need to sell as well? Where do you want to get listed as well? And so on and so forth. Where do you need to get listed if you want to sell directly from Instagram? Of course, you need to have a connection. So next thing, as soon as you did your website and online store, we come to lead generation. Lead generation is the most important step in selling anything to anyone. If you can't create leads, you can't sell anything. So make sure to convert traffic on your page or on your store or wherever to actually give you their email addresses. If you can't find anybody who is willing to give you their email address, you will never sell anything to them. Think about how to create leads on social media, for example, or off page, as it's called. And as well, focus on how to create leads for your brand, for your products with influencers, for example. And maybe cold email is the right thing for you as well. So if you are especially in B2B, you want to send cold emails if you know whom to send these emails to, and so on and so forth. Cold email is a great version of traffic and lead generation if you do it the right way. Then step number 7, marketing automation system. As soon as you know how to collect leads, you of course need to market somehow to them. And there the marketing automation system comes in place. And you need to start at the beginning and start nurturing these leads. So build your audience that you own from the beginning. It doesn't matter if you have like 1 million YouTube subscribers or 350 million YouTube subscribers. If these people are not really interested in your product, they're worth nothing. So you need to build your own audience and make sure that they fit to what you're actually offering them. So don't try to get email address from people which could be interested. It doesn't make sense. So you only want to have email addresses from real prospects, which actually have a certain likelihood to buy your stuff. So build your audience and make sure to create your first welcome sequence. That's the beginning. You don't need to create a super big lead generation system as we are doing for our clients, because our clients know already how to create leads and what to do with them and so on and so forth. Make sure to simply create a welcome sequence which you are using for introducing your brand, introducing your portfolio, what you're doing, build trust, build more touch points to get to this 7 hours of engagement time, which makes people ready to buy from you. So do that with the welcome sequence. And this should be fully automated. You don't need to think about this after you build this. And from there, you can start creating your marketing automation blueprint, where we can help you, of course. And we're going to cover all these things in video number 7 of this playlist. Afterwards, number 8, which is very important that it comes after you have lead generation and everything in place, create your social media channels. You don't want to build social media and everything beforehand, because you actually don't know if you can create leads and so on and so forth. So try to do all the other things beforehand. Try to collect your first leads and then move on to social media and market your stuff there. Think about where is your audience. That's super important. If you don't use the social media channels which are necessary for your audience, or where your audience actually is. So make sure to understand where they are. Then what does your audience want to see on social media? If you're only putting posts like, hey, we have this kitchen lamp and it costs $19.95, nobody will care usually. People want to have native content and don't want to see advertisements. So don't post advertising. Nobody cares. And create interesting content for your audience. Very, very important. And only occasionally link to your store or pages. In the best case, you will have native app experience anyway, so that people can buy directly off the social media channel you're using. So use the app marketplaces if there are some. And from there, we're moving to step number 9, which is marketing plus content calendar. So here in social media channels, in step number 8, you only make sure which channels to use. Then you build the connection to your store and so on and so forth. And then you create your marketing and content calendar. So make sure to understand how much content you are capable of producing and then produce this content. So create your first batch of content. Take a look how long you need for that. Take a look how many channels you're going to provide with content and so on and so forth. And write this down. Create your schedule. Like in school, Monday you have maths, Tuesday you have biology, blah, 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 blah. And do exactly that for your social media content. Put everything into a centralized posting platform. That's super important. I see it myself. As soon as I open any social media channel like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, blah, 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 all this stuff, even though I hate the content in there most of the time, I am watching stuff and fall into this abyss of unnecessary bullshit. So make sure to use professional posting platforms to schedule your posts, where you never even need to open any social media platform during work. Stick to your calendar and post every Tuesday on TikTok, because it makes everything easier for you to predict, to plan. So be consistent and build brand awareness. It's not about advertisement, it's about branding. So do branding. And branding means you are out there. People can recognize you and your brand from your content. And not the other way around. Put some stories out there and give information and give fun and give entertainment and so on and so forth. As soon as you did these first 9 steps, everything should start working from here. So until step number 9, everything is very, very, very much important. If it doesn't work here, don't move further. If you put money into ads and you don't get any sales out of the stuff you're doing right now, something doesn't work. So don't start putting money into ads or into sales automations if your basics are not working. If you can't collect leads, if you can't create your content for your content schedule, if you can't do this, and if this is not generating anything, something doesn't work. So make sure that you create revenue and profit out of these first 9 steps. If there is no profit, you need to learn something more. So make sure to walk through these 9 steps until you create your sales. The first sales need to be there, otherwise you don't need to go further. That's very, very important, and that's the typical problem which people have. They get coaches, and nobody needs that. You need to create content and you need to bring your message out there. You need to help people, you need to solve problems, you need to give them what they actually want. And if you can't do this, you don't need anything else. So you don't need a coach, and you don't need paid ads, and you don't need automation systems, and you don't even need to analyze anything, because there is nothing to analyze. So try to fix that first and then come back and go further from step number 10. As soon as your first sales drop in, you know, my landing pages are working, my products are nice, people really like them, and so on and so forth. And then you can start advertise your products directly and build a bigger reach, because you know already it's going to sell. So then create your first ads. Understand what your audience interacts with. That's very, very important. And then build your first campaign, no matter where, it doesn't matter. Optimize this campaign and every aspect before you move on. It's the same thing in here again. If you put too much effort into different ways of creating ads and nothing works, there is something faulty. So you need to understand the very basics before you can scale and before you can move on. If your Google ad doesn't do anything for you, your YouTube ad won't do anything as well. Why should it? So understand Google ads first, Facebook, Instagram ads first, and then move on. Focus on one channel, the most important, valuable channel you can find for your target audience. So if your target audience is only hanging out on TikTok, create one TikTok ad, recreate it so long until you get your first sale out of it, and then start scaling it. You never want to scale anything where you don't really know, yes, that's what people want, that's where they are, and that's where they engage. So understand this first and then turn on ad spend. As soon as you have your ad spend turned on, your marketing automation from before will work, the welcome sequence will work, people will start buying, and then you can create your resell automations, which are so important. There is where the actual money comes in, because your revenue stream or the lead generation works. Now you can pay to get more people into your ecosystem and into your buying your stuff, and from there you can go further and resell to them. There is the actual money. The scaling starts when you start reselling. So you don't want to have people which only buy once. You want people to buy twice, 3 times, 4 times. So the most important KPI you can have is raising the number of sales per customer. You want to have a high frequency of sales per customer. So try to raise that. If you can resell, you can automate all of this. And this is the actual scaling of a business. So the money comes with the second sale, because the first sale paid for the lead. So build a second evergreen campaign for lead generation to get more people in, which can buy, and then build up 5 to 7 campaigns for the most important occasions of the year. That's actually the only important thing we are doing with the lead and sales generator in our agency. We're building exactly that. So people don't need to write newsletters, because nobody cares anyway. And if you don't do like real branding, nobody will care about a newsletter. in real life. So forget about writing newsletters, write resale campaigns or re-engagement campaigns to get in touch and to make more touch points for people to re-engage with your brand and re-engage with your product. So they will think about, maybe I want to buy something next from your store. So do this, that's very important. And then follow the lead and sales generator from Automate This. I'm going to give you access to how we are building these campaigns so you can build everything exactly as we are doing it for our successful clients. So follow that, and then comes the real hard stuff. Because as soon as everything works, you want to understand what works, how, and are you only having a hard time, or are you only putting in a lot of money, and where can you optimize? So the analytics gives you the truth how your numbers are and what works and what doesn't. So get familiar with all your systems and build a consistent analytics dashboard. That's so important. If you are creating new sales funnels every week, it's very hard to understand anything. Some people create one campaign in summer, in August, and they are selling, let's say, skiing clothes. And then they're wondering, it doesn't work. So let's create another campaign. And they're doing this until November. And suddenly the campaign in November starts working and people buy the clothes. That doesn't mean that the campaign from summer wasn't as good as the one from November. It was just the time. So compare the right things with each other. That's very important, and where analytics starts to come in place. And from there, create reporting. Usually your team needs to create these reports, and you need to understand what's going on, what's actually going on. So define your KPIs. We have a video, of course, for what are the most important KPIs for an e-commerce store. It's the average shopping cart. So you want to raise that, put more stuff in your shopping cart, and the frequency of sales per customer. These are the two things you want to raise. These are the most important KPIs you can have, because this shows you, are my marketing efforts anything worth? And is it growing, or is it just as ever? So connect all analytics tools to a central reporting platform. We use Metabase. Metabase is open source. It's just mind-blowing and amazing what you can do with it. Of course, it's a lot of work to understand it, but there are great videos and great tutorials how to use it, and so on and so forth. So take Metabase or another analytics platform where you can put and plug in everything. So you want to have your marketing automation system, for example, Mautic. You want to have your online store, for example, WooCommerce and WordPress. You want to have all the social media channels, and so on and so forth. As soon as you did that, build meaningful reports for your business, because you don't want to have some fancy numbers which doesn't say anything. And then find the weak spots. So be honest to everybody, especially to yourself, and make sure that everybody is candid and honest and is telling the truth and shows you what's really going on, because nobody needs to be patted on the backs. We only want to make money with our businesses and, of course, help people. But if we help people, we make money. So that's the thing. And after you understand actually what's going on, you get to step 14, which is actually the beginning of step number 9 again. So this closes the circle in content creation. You make A/B testing. So as soon as you have something what gives you experience or what gives you results, you start testing and make sure that there is no better variant or variation what you can use instead. So first, build one version, make sure it works first, and then go on. So don't make A/B tests with versions which don't bring results anyway. It's just a waste of time. I see that so often that people say, okay, let's create this lead generation form, and it doesn't bring any results, and then they make an A/B test. I mean, it only can get better, right? Why would you A/B test anything of that? So start A/B testing only with things which work already, and create variations of content, emails, lead generation, funnels, sequences, and so on and so forth. And then define your winning parameters. Winning parameters are a tricky thing, actually. It's not only things like click-through rate and open rate and blah, blah. It can be more. So define your winning parameters and then perform the A/B test, of course. Choose the winner after a certain time in ads, in paid ads. The winner can be chosen sometimes in 2 hours. So it depends on your ad spend and the time and so on and so forth. So choose the winner and then do it again. Start at step number 9 and go all the way up to step number 14 and again and again and again, like this I said. Connect, sell, automate. So that's the thing you want to do. And yeah, we're going to have a video for all of these steps. Make sure to download or to bookmark this page. Link is in the description. Share it if you want. If you don't, use it. Use it for yourself. Build your own successful e-commerce marketing system. And I'll see you in the next video.